Shalom, everyone. I want to share with you a Parsha teaching, and we have the Parashah of Korah, which is a very interesting Parsha. And before I explain the Parsha, I want to reveal to you some very interesting parallels that I discovered that the Bible has. First of all, the Parsha is a portion of the Torah, and then we have a Haftarah, which is a section of the Tanakh, the the scriptures in the Bible after the Torah that correlate the portion of the Torah, and then we have a section of the New Testament that correlates that. So we have one section in the five books of Moses, one section in the writings, and one section in the New Testament. But interestingly, the Parsha also has a correlation with the Hebrew feast. Let's say, for example, if we are in a spring, and we begin with Genesis 1:1, when we should begin, which is the beginning of the year, we will see interesting patterns. And the Parsha also correlates with world events. So today is about Korah, and the Parsha is about rebellion. The group of Korah, it was a mixture of Levites and Reubenites, some from the tribe of Levi, some from the tribe of Reuben. They went to Moses. They say, you take too much upon yourself. We also want to be part of this. They wanted to run the show. They wanted to run some rules that were happening in the tabernacle, but they didn't understand that it was part of the divine order, that the tabernacle was ruled by Moses and Aaron. So by going against Moses, in reality, they went against Elohim. So there was a tremendous judgment, and the earth split up, and they went down into the bottom of the earth because they rejected Elohim. They went against Elohim to set up their man-made religion. And that has happened throughout history with Nimrod, with all of the false religions of the world. People reject the divine order, and they want to establish their ideas. So in the Haftarah, we have the story of Samuel, where the people back then, instead of accepting that Elohim is their king, living by faith and obeying Elohim, they wanted a king like the rest of the nations. But they didn't remember that Israel was not meant to be like the rest of the nations. Israel is a holy kingdom. So Moses anointed King Saul for them, that ended up being a very, very bad king of the flesh, and judgment happened, and that day there was a thunderstorm in the middle of the summer as a sign of judgment, so the people understood the scene. And then in the New Testament, we have John 19, which it talks about Yeshua being crucified, and Pilatus, he says, I want nothing to do with this man. He looks innocent to me, but the people said, crucify him. And he said, but this guy is your king. And they replied to him that their only king is Caesar. So we identify a pattern. From the Torah, the book of Numbers, the people rejecting divine authority, which is Moses and Aaron, and they wanted to establish their fleshly authority. Then we go to Samuel. People reject divine authority. They reject Elohim being their king, and they choose Saul to be their king. And then we go to the New Testament. They reject Yeshua and his divine authority to be king of Israel, and they choose Caesar. So that's pretty interesting, and we should not defy divine authority because we will end up in a very fleshly walk that leads towards destruction. So now that we have identified the pattern, now let us see to which feast this parsha correlates. And now we are in the season of Hanukkah. So during the story of Hanukkah, the same thing, pagan Hebrews rejected divine authority, and they sided with the Greek Empire to destroy the values of the Jewish civilization. But a very courageous group called the Maccabees defeated them, a Greek army that was together with a bunch of Jewish rebels that had converted to the Greek religion, and they overcame. And at the same time, as I said before, the Parsha correlates with the world event. So what's happening right now, in United States, they are rejecting divine authority, which means to live by biblical standards, or at least that was the idea of the nation when it was born, and they choose Biden, which is a clone of the devil, that is pro abortion and sodomy and all sorts of evil things that I will not mention. So we can see these patterns being interconnected from the Torah, the writings, and the New Testament, then also the Parsha being connected with the feast of the season and then with a world event. So that's all for today. Be blessed and shalom. Thank you.